Good afternoon. Welcome to the Parenting versus Podcast. Saturday afternoon edition.
Ring a ding ding.
What?
I don't know. Do you hear this?
Oh yeah, Lindsay's
The screwball.
It's a screwball. What's in a screwball?
Whiskey, typically orange juice and lime juice, and some ice. However, because I am a parent, I have whiskey, and I have juicy juice that is mango flavored. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
Here, I got a towel for you. Buddy.
Our kids are playing in the wading pool. It's warm in Albuquerque today, very sunny, so we are enjoying. And it's the first day the wind has died down. We've had crazy wind, which is pretty normal for Albuquerque in the spring. So first day of relaxation. Went to a kid's birthday party this morning with a bouncy house, which parents, if you want to win at kids' birthday parties, bouncy houses. No joke. Wears them out. It's awesome. Our kids are begging us right now to go watch a movie because they're so tired. And I'm like, yes, do it.
Yeah. But no promises because all three of our kids are awake.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
Wow.
here comes one right now.
What's up, dude?
I always tell him he sounds like an orca whale when he whines.
The babies are destroying your time. Welcome to parenthood.
It's like a whale song.
Hey, if you want to watch it on your tablet, maybe we could set that up in mom and dad's room and you can shut the door so that you can relax.
Are we going to do a very, very early parenting pause again?
Let's call it a refill pause.
Okay. So reset, parenting pause, and we'll come right back. And we're back. I think that broke our record from the last parenting pause.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because the last parenting pause, we were 5 minutes in, and now we were 2.5, but whatever.
Yeah.
So kids.
Yeah.
Is this a parenting podcast, or is this something else? Is this just us just hanging out and talking?
I guess, but I mean, we already, we do our thing. So.
Yeah. What?
Oh, nothing. It was funny. The other day, our 2.5, almost 3-year-old complimented the tablecloth I bought outside. He's like, Mom, I like this. And I was like, well, okay, then.
Yeah, it's got some cactus on it.
Cacti.
Merman. Yeah. So I guess cactus is a Latin base, and if it's a Latin-based word, and it's plural, it's instead of cactus, it's cacti.
Okay.
But octopus, the plural for octopus is octopuses.
Because
it's not Latin.
I was talking to my friend Megan about that because she's a teacher too, and she was telling me they changed it. It used to be technically octopi, but they have technically changed it to octopuses.
Who is they?
The big ones.
Is there
bosses of the world?
There's a board of
those guys.
A board of grammar.
Yep.
And all they do is worry about grammar all day. That sounds.
They get really pissed.
That sounds terrible.
They're really mad about grammar when it's not correct.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a interesting day, I guess. It's a Saturday. Started off as a really kind of cold, not cold, I would say cool. It was 40s.
The
Overcast.
Wind made it feel chilly.
And when I stepped out this morning, I smelled the air and I was like, it smells different. It smells like there's moisture in the air. And I checked my phone. I checked the weather, and sure enough, it was 56% humidity. And for New Mexico, in the springtime, that's really high. And you can tell, it smells delicious to me. I love it. And it was, for me, that was a perfect weather. I love that. But around 11:30, 12, the sun came out, melted all the, moisture away, and it got warmer. But it's still kind of a cool day today.
So I want to give a local shout out because we haven't done that in a while.
Okay.
Marble Brewery, happy birthday, guys! It's their birthday.
They're kind of a big deal.
They're super a big deal.
They don't really need our shout outs.
They don't need them, but I'm happy to give them because I love their beer.
What was your first experience with Marble?
My first? I don't even know. I think they're 10 years old today.
10 years old.
So that would have been 2008. Wow. I think the first time I went there was actually to see my friend Kyle, his band play, the Squash Blossom Boys.
Were we in a hiatus at the time? So, okay, I think I remember my first experience.
We must have been.
My first experience with marble, I think, was coinciding with yours because Kova was there.
It was right after I came back from Panama.
Sorry to say names, but...
No, and I remember because I knew somebody else who was going to be there who I was hanging out with at the time after I got back from Panama because you were angry at me or whatever. And so, yes, it was 2008. It was...
But some of my friends were there, right? Because I remember them texting me. They're like, "Hey, Lindsay's here," and I was like,
"Whatever.
Well, guess I'm not going out tonight."
Thanks a lot, Kyle.
No, it wasn't because I didn't like you. It's because,
like a middle schooler, you liked me a lot, and so you had to be mean to me.
Basically.
Okay, well that clears that up.
So, and I also I wasn't trying to be mean. I was okay. So
avoiding because it was awkward.
When you have
it was awkward as shit. Let's be honest. It was super awkward.
When you're me. And a woman is expressing interest in me.
When you're me.
When you're me and a woman is expressing interest in
no one else is ever going to be you.
But when you are, you try to avoid that woman for some reason. It's weird. I don't understand it.
And I think we just found the name of this podcast.
What?
When you're me and a woman expresses interest, you try to avoid that woman.
It's true. It's true. So
I remember one time when we were hanging out just as friends. I think we were hanging out just as friends. We went to Denny's and I'd had a little to drink at the time.
Yeah, and we got the bananas.
The bananas. I remember asking the waitress, I'm like, "Can I have that banana?"
I was wearing a light blue "cute is what we aim for" shirt.
Oh, I remember that shirt.
It was a little bit too tight for me, but at the time I was,
It was okay. No, I remember the shirt, and I remember being like, "I want that banana. You think they'll give me that banana?" And you're like, "Just ask for the banana." And I'm like, "Hey, lady, could I have that banana?"
Hey, lady.
And she gave it to me, and I think she didn't even charge me.
You turned into like a 1970s New York City.
Hey there, lady, give me that
driver.
banana. There, see?
You had a bowler's cap and a cigar in your mouth.
I did, and I was slinging newspapers. It was the weirdest thing. That just turned into Newsies real fast. I have the giggles.
Yes, you do. It must be the screwball.
That's why they call it a screwball.
Yeah.
Wow.
My grandpa's favorite drink when I was a kid was a screwdriver. I remember it was just vodka and orange juice.
Yeah.
And
that was the first thing I ever drank, ever.
Yep, and I remember going to my grandpa's and, he'd have screwdrivers. I'd be reading his encyclopedias. He'd play music on his instruments, and he'd be hanging out and just sipping on his thing.
So kind of what we do now with other people.
Kind of.
So I have a question for you.
Okay. Good. You actually care about me? They can't see the stare that you're giving me right now.
I feel like I've been shot through the heart.
And you're to blame. Oh, no. No. No Bon Jovi allowed.
Okay. So close. I was so close.
No.
I was so close.
Bon Jovi did some shady stuff back in the day, by the way. In the music industry, I heard he's
we're talking about that
he
now.
Stabbed some backs, I hear. He's a backstabber.
Real friends stab you in the front.
I remember listening to a story with somebody who he was a
Backstabber.
backstabber.
There's a band that sings that song too.
He was a double crosser. Anyways, what were you gonna say?
Here come the sirens.
Yeah.
Happy Albuquerque Saturday. Oh, and there was a giant pot fest down the street from us because it was 420. So they blocked off the road.
What were you really gonna say?
I was gonna say, okay, so your birthday's coming up, May 21st.
Okay.
You're gonna be 35.
Seriously?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
How does it feel?
How do I? Oh, that was the question you were going to ask me?
Yeah,
How
how
does
do
it
you-
feel to be 35?
Approaching 35.
I'm closer to 40 than I am 30.
Ooh,
So that's interesting.
that is interesting. I mean, how did you view 35 when you were a kid? Because for me, I was like 35.
So
What does that
30s
even
are.
mean?
I remember associating that with my dad,
Yeah.
and my dad has always been old to me. So how do I feel about being 35? I don't really know. I feel like 25 to 35 went faster than 15 to 25 for sure.
Absolutely true.
I feel like the days are going by really fast. It's like a slippery
It's a slippery slope,
It's a
those 30s.
I was gonna say slippery piece of soap.
We're not
That doesn't make sense
prison.
though. That doesn't make sense. It's I don't get it. I don't.
Speaking of things I don't get, can I say something?
Sure.
Well,
You gonna
hold on.
shout out to our sponsor?
No. Somebody hammering a swing set down the street because
Who
sounds
knows?
like.
I don't know.
So hung out with my friend Megan the other night. We had a girls' night. We went to dinner, had a drink of wine, went for a little walk in Uptown. It's very feminine
Dang,
of us.
romantic.
It was so romantic. It was so romantic. We came upon this shop, right? And I want to hear your thought on this because I've been contemplating this in my head back and forth.
So this is what's been on your mind.
Yeah.
The shop.
Kind of.
Okay.
Don't roll your eyes at me.
I'm not.
There's a bigger picture here if you.
I am not rolling my eyes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. May I proceed?
You will anyway.
I could use another drink.
Well, we don't have any more,
It's a
so.
bummer. Okay, so it's a shop and it's called Altered State, like ALTAR''D, like, you know, trendy. Altered State. So we walk by it and we're like, what is that? And it's very trendy looking. It's very Pinterest appealing to the eye. And
It was like if somebody took all the work out of Pinterest for you.
and just visually put it into a shop for me and was like, here you go, enjoy.
You know, Pinterest is unrealistic anyway. I don't know anybody who can do Pinterest. I think you just check Pinterest to wish.
You do. It's like a perpetual shopping list of ideas that you're
Who
not
the hell are
actually
these
doing.
people who do Pinterest? Like, I mean, that are like posting actual things that they have done. You know what I mean?
People that have the time to do them.
Who makes like a shoe rack out of like those things you get at
Pallets?
pallets and like paints them nicely and like
A lot of people, actually.
seriously?
Yeah.
Or like an outdoor fire pit with benches that are like
A lot of
perfectly
people,
done.
actually.
I don't think anybody does that.
I just don't think you do that.
No, I don't. I
Okay.
can't.
Anyway, so it's good
Sorry,
for ideas.
I have a
No.
bone to pick with Pinterest. It's a la la land. I don't think it's realistic. Anyway,
It depends on what you're looking at. So it's like if Pinterest came to life and there was like, it's almost like Urban Outfitters or like Anthropology more, I guess, but more beautiful and lush. It was like everything a woman dreams of, like visually.
was
Okay?
Jesus there?
He was. So here's the kicker. So we go in and it is like a Christian, literally Christian owned, Christian run, Christian propaganded version of Anthropology. And I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, I can see who they're competing with business wise, obviously, right? Everything in here is super beautiful. It was very pretty.
Were there portraits of like megachurch pastors on the wall?
With hearts around them, yeah. Oh, Skip, you're so dreamy.
Like very like what do they call them? Like
Heartthrobs.
I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say
Tiger
like
beat. Just kidding.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, you don't.
Anyways, so talk more about this place, Altered State.
So it's like bohemian, like beautiful dresses, beautiful tops, very like Coachella style right now. Floral arrangements, flowers.
Beyonce was at Coachella, right? Was that what all the buzz was about?
I don't know, and I
What's
don't
the whole thing
care.
about her right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I don't keep up with Beyonce.
I don't either. All my single ladies, all my single ladies, all
Whatever.
my single ladies.
Anyway, so point being, like, we go in there, it's like perfection, right? Visually. And I'm like, okay, so this is a Christian run brand, like, obviously, because there's all these like signs or Bible verses, and they're like, yeah, we're a Christian store, blah, blah, blah.
They told you that?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so this is like Fashion City for Christian people. I get it. And I'm like, all right, like, you know, they have some pretty stuff. Like, let's go take a look. And like, we're just looking around, wandering a little bit.
Did they have men's clothes?
No. And it was weird because I was like looking at their prices and it was like $60 for a shirt. And I was like, this doesn't seem very Christian-like to me. Like, this is
But
like
I'm-
Christian elitist fashion.
I'm sure 55 of those dollars went to charity of some sort.
I don't know, but the point is, I was like, okay, so now we're branding Christianity like we already
I was
have
being
been.
sarcastic.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, we're branding Christianity. Like, we already have in churches, but now it's like outside of a church in an actual clothing store that is competing with mainstream stores. And it reminded me of like how when we were in high school, they used to do that with music. Like, if you shop here, maybe you go here instead. Like, And I was just like, I don't feel okay about this.
So it's an alternate. I mean, that was my question. Like, did they have actually good quality products?
They did.
Okay,
but they were way overpriced.
Then it's cool.
Way overpriced.
Well, everything in Uptown is overpriced, isn't it?
Yeah. But I was just kind of like, I don't know. For some reason, that bothers me.
Huh.
Because if you were a Christian woman, and let's say you genuinely wanted to shop there.
It's like putting the Jesus fish sign, the Jesus fish little logo on your
right
on your sign to attract the Christians, right? Because they're believers. We're going to go to their place of business because they're obviously.
But I'm like, you're putting a brand forward to Christian women. Like, yes, they have a choice on whether or not they shop there, but you're making it expensive. So you're almost making it like elevating it to.
You're using your religion to make money.
Right.
You're using like Jesus to make money.
Right. And I was thinking too, like, any well-meaning Christian person who actually like is grounded is not going to come in here and spend $70 on a shirt.
Okay, at first I thought if they sell good quality products, then
I mean,
then it's legit.
The clothes are nice, but it's like you don't need to be ripping people off for Jesus. Like,
no, I got you. Like, they can rip people off all they want. It's their right as business owners. Like Anthropology and Aeropostale and all the A places that I'm not sure which one is which. They rip people off, like, for sure they do.
But you go in there knowing their agenda is money.
But people buy stuff from them, and that's fine. But this place you're talking about, like, they're ripping people off, but it's in the name of Jesus. Sort of.
And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, like,
that. Yeah, I have some qualms with that. That's okay.
So, like, are you like, please? And I was like waiting for somebody to say it. I'm like, if somebody says this is their ministry, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, you know, they didn't say it, but I was just like, oh my gosh.
That's their cover up.
Right.
Anyways, like, yeah, I got you.
So I've been contemplating this, like, why does it make me so upset? Like, why does it irk me so much? Is it just that I can't afford to buy those clothes? Or is it that, like, nobody can? Or if you can, you're probably not, like,
you could go to Anthropology and waste
being.
your money if you wanted to.
Right.
But this place, I
felt like it was a justification thing. Like, oh, because this is a Christian or a Christian business, I'm okay spending $70 on a shirt.
Yeah.
It's still a first world issue.
I get it. I was wondering why you had qualms at first, but now I understand. It's like they're kind of whoring out Christianity to make a profit.
Yeah.
So,
Jurassic World
cannot be over. Okay, let me help you then.
Jurassic World is over. Yeah, so I kind of had to examine myself. I'm like, okay, because I like Anthropology, but am I realistically going to go shopping there? No. I'm 34, I don't have that kind of a budget, and I can't keep up with that. And that's fine, I can accept that. I shop at a lot of thrift stores because I like to, which is ironic because I used to get made fun of when I was younger for shopping at thrift stores, and now it's like the thing, and I'm like, you guys can suck it. Elementary school jerks that used to make fun of me. But no, for real. Like, I guess it just doesn't sit well with me when people use that as a platform for a business, and it's clearly about making money, but they're going to put this guise of something else all over it. I'm a very, I don't want to say justice-driven person, but I have some ideals that I feel very strongly about. And when something violates those ideals, I get really kind of irked, and I have to really think about why, like the why of it making me upset. You know, same thing, like if you go to Abercrombie or something like that, yeah, like expect to spend some stupid money and expect it to be what it is, because they're not pretending to be something they're not. It's this fake agenda thing that really bothers me. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry, that's just kind of what's been on my mind.
It's all good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to Marble for a second. So they're celebrating their 10-year anniversary, which is good. I feel like they've kind of, like, there was a brewery industry in...
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, I'm drinking a Miller Lite, so...
Not quite Marble, but...
Not quite Marble, but it's still a fine Pilsner beer.
If you're a hobo.
Well, it says it on the can. That's what I said.
It's a fine Pilsner beer if you're a hobo?
It's a fine Pilsner beer. Actually, like, I don't mind the American, like, classics. I guess you can say classics. Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud Light. Our son's going to come out here. I hear him roaring.
He sounds like a T-Rex.
Yeah. So, I feel like they kind of sparked the brewery industry after they came out. Like there was all these other ones that
In
popped up.
Albuquerque?
Yeah, like there was breweries before Marble for sure. Like Chama.
Chama
Rest in
doesn't
peace.
exist anymore.
I miss
know.
them. I miss
I
that
think
building.
they were-
I hope somebody does something with that building.
They were ahead of the curve, those
It's
guys.
probably going to be Marble, actually. I bet. There's Bosque, there's La Cumbre, there's all these other breweries that popped up after them. It's been a good 10 years in Albuquerque for breweries.
Yeah.
So,
There's more all the time.
mm-hmm.
Popping up.
Yep. So we were talking a little earlier about how I feel. I get antsy. Is it not anxious? I wouldn't say anxious, but like, what was the word I used? I felt like it was a good word.
Restless?
Restless, antsy,
Impatient?
whatever it may be.
Complacent?
No, not complacent. So sometimes when I'm thinking about my situation, like living where I am in Albuquerque, there's one of two things that can happen. Either I feel really happy about where I live in Albuquerque for a couple, economically, I feel like it's a good place to live. And there's a lot of good breweries, and there's a lot of, it's sort of like an up and coming thing, right? Like we're seeing the beginnings of an up and coming kind of
We are
place.
still under the radar in a good way.
Like mainstream stuff. Like Albuquerque's been here forever, like way longer than all the cities. So maybe they're up and coming, and we're not. Like maybe we've already arrived, but in like a mainstream way, like we're kind of an up and coming place, and I feel happy. And it's like there's good people around. We have friends, all this other stuff. But sometimes I think that I would like something different. And that was happening to me this week. I was like, man, I would really just love to live in Portland. And this comes up a lot. Portland is on my mind. I don't know. Like when I think about like places that I like places where it's cool. Not like cool but like cool like temperature wise, where it's cool, where there are lots of pine trees. And I know we have that in Albuquerque, not in Albuquerque, but like in New Mexico. Jeez.
There's children running around roaming like T-Rexes, which is such a treat for everyone.
So I don't know. I picture myself being in the Pacific Northwest, and I know everybody does, and it's trendy, whatever. But I don't know. Anyways, I have to really pause for a second and really kind of examine and analyze. That's how. Good grief! I don't know if the mic is picking up Luke, but
Sounds like a dinosaur dying from meteors. I don't even know what's happening in there.
I had so much on my mind, and now I'm blank. But we're trying to listen to our son now, I guess. So
I can't even. He was in such a bad mood, and now he's acting
he's
like
better.
a dinosaur. I'm kind of glad sometimes we don't have neighbors.
Yeah.
Because if they heard this, they'd be like, what in the hell is happening over there?
Yeah.
Like,
Our neighbor was I don't know, she was mid-90s, 95, 96 when we moved in. And we've been here for 5 years. And
it just keeps getting louder.
we've been here for 5 years. She was, honestly, she was kind of on the downhill when we got here.
She shouldn't have been living alone.
No, she shouldn't have.
And shame on her family for having her,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, that just...
Yeah. I'm sure she was nice when she had her wits about her, but like...
She had some dementia going on.
Yeah, I remember when we first moved in, I was grilling some burgers, and she kind of peeked through the fence, and I was going to say, hi, how are you? Like, being nice. There's this, little old lady that was just kind of peeking through the fence. I was like, hi, how are you? And she was like, you are the devil! And I was like, okay. She's like, what did she say? You are the angel of Satan. And I was like, oh, wow.
Take it easy.
I'm just grilling some burgers. And I didn't know what to think. I was just like,
well, Satan loves his cheeseburgers,
cool.
so...
So I went inside for a second just to kind of collect my thoughts. I'm like, well, what's going on here? I didn't like, dementia didn't come to me. I just thought she was...
crazy and mean.
Yeah.
But think about how scary that must have been for her. Like, what was she seeing that she would have... I mean, like, what was... cognitively and mentally going on
Yeah.
to make her react that way. Like, that's
I
got to
know.
be scary.
Oh, for sure. And then about a minute later, I hear pounding on the door. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, okay, I'm completely freaked out. And that night, our window was broken
In our car.
on our car.
Yeah.
So, anyways, like, and she died shortly after that.
Yeah. In the
After
hospital.
she died, nothing has happened to the house next to us.
Well, they did come in and update everything like
Yeah.
2 years ago, and then they
And
left.
I
and
think
it's
there's
kinda
still a
empty.
Cadillac in their garage that they're
There
trying to
is.
sell for way too much.
We're like, dude,
But-
give us some neighbors, or like somebody move in. It's getting kind of
Yeah.
old here.
Yeah, it's just a house that's kind of just sitting there. Nobody's buying it. It's just kind of just sitting there. So I don't know if they're ever going to do anything with it. Maybe they're waiting for the market to get, better. But nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Strange
yeah,
times.
strange times.
Strange times.
Are we out of things to talk about?
I don't know. I'm craving green chili cheeseburgers though.
Yeah, I was.
Ooh,
earlier.
best green chili cheeseburger in town. Let's talk about that.
That is,
I think green chili cheeseburgers are a sexy thing to talk about. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they're neat.
They're neat.
They're neat.
They're God's gift to New Mexicans.
They are neat.
Neato. No, but
I
for
wonder
real,
how
like,
much teachers get paid in Portland.
I don't know.
I'm a teacher.
I
I'm actually going to be a legit teacher. Like,
on Monday.
yeah, I have. I'm going through an alternative teaching licensure program, and
It sounds like they're in the kitchen, and that worries me.
who?
Our children or
Dinosaurs?
the dinosaurs.
Yeah. So I don't know. My teaching license can take me to 38 different states if I wanted to.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Palm Springs. You want to move?
No.
I love Palm Springs.
Speaking of like, heyo,
Heyo.
we saw Anchorman. We saw a movie with Paul Rudd last night, the night before.
The night before.
Yeah.
It was definitely disturbing.
It was a movie called Mute.
Yeah.
And it had the guy who, I remember him from Zoolander. He was Minkus. Minkus? He was the model, yeah. Anyways, I thought it was really interesting.
It was really interesting. It was just
Disturbing.
disturbing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
There was a character who was a pedophile,
Yeah.
and they went there. I mean, kudos for them to
Not in like a sleazy way, but they nodded at like the fact that this guy was a scummy guy
yeah.
the entire time.
You were not supposed to like him.
Well, but the interesting
So-
thing, and I thought this was interesting, was that Paul Rudd's character the entire time, you're kind of like I can't say it because I'll blow the movie. You have one perspective on him for part of the movie, and then it totally shifts, and you're like, But anyway,
Yeah, but we were able to follow it, like the shift.
yeah.
And, I mean, it's called Mute. The main character, he can't speak.
Yeah, he doesn't speak and he can't speak. He had a
Yeah.
tragic accident happen, and
Yeah.
there's some things that happen. It's just crazy, and it's set in the future, which adds another kind of random twist to it.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing about that is like they don't really go into it with it being set in the future. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, this is where it's at. Like the storyline drives most of it, not the setting.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. It was a Netflix movie.
Yeah,
So, I mean, good job, Netflix, for doing that.
I feel like I can never totally commit to the fact that Paul Rudd was a bad guy in that movie because he's Paul Rudd, and I think of him in like I Love You Man.
I know.
And I'm like, he's so fun-loving and hilarious. Like, he's not bad. It's Paul Rudd. He's just quirky.
Yeah.
But he really was a bad dude in this movie, and he did a great job playing a bad dude.
He did.
So,
Yeah. The handlebar mustache kind of helped out, though.
yeah, and the Hawaiian shirts, it made him look like a 70s sleazebag.
Kind of.
Kind of like a porn director or something, like a Ron Jeremy type. That's what he
Yeah.
reminded me of.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Not that I know much about that, but, like, I just, for some reason, that's what I picture when I picture
No,
some
I
skeezy,
get it
like,
when you say
LA
that.
trash.
I get it when you say that. Dang, you're so judgmental.
Skeezy LA trash.
You're
Okay.
so judgmental.
I guess.
Yeah.
Man. What are you doing to me, Seagram 7?
Yeah. So when you were talking about your friend Megan, I thought you were gonna mention the Facebook ad that popped up.
Oh, no, but you can talk
Yeah.
about that if you want. Actually, today on my Pinterest, an ad for that popped up. That store.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, they know where you were.
I know.
So, I mean, data, like, whatever. I always... Anytime I set up a new device and it says, would you like to send the information to the developer to... Okay, Lindsay's going to be right back.
No, it's really quiet in there.
Oh, okay.
I get worried.
You can listen back to this because I'm going to talk. But anytime I set up a new device, whether it be an iPhone or an Android device or a Mac or whatever, Windows device, a lot of times they'll ask you, would you like to send anonymous information to the developers for, like, to help us improve the operating system or to improve the apps or whatever, to, like, you know, send that information. I always choose yes.
Are you going to take a parenting pause or come and look at this?
Oh, we're taking a parenting pause. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Our kids were eating peanut butter out of the jar in the kitchen, so...
Somehow they both pushed a chair. We're talking about an almost 2-year-old and an almost 3-year-old. Mm-hmm. Pushed a chair to the cabinet, got 2 separate jars of peanut butter and forks, opened them, and they were both in their diapers.
Yeah, we're free-range parents.
Eating peanut butter.
And also, I'm glad they're not allergic to peanut butter or peanuts.
Yeah.
A kid in Luke's classes has a peanut allergy, so we have to provide snacks every once in a while. We have to make sure that there's... Anyways, yeah, I'm glad they're not allergic. But I was talking about data, and how when I set up a device and it asks me, like, would you like to share this information with, share information with the developer and with Apple or with Google and with the developer to help improve things? I'm like, I don't care. My data's out there. Like, I don't really give a crap. Take my data.
Yeah.
And you were talking about that place altered state, I guess it's called.
I don't know.
You received an ad. Your friend Megan received an ad. They just know. People know. Like the companies know, and they sell your information, and they're making money off of you, and it's advertising. So, whatever. Like Google collects all this information about us all the time. Like Google, I didn't tell Google what time I go to work or where my work is, but Google knows, like, you start your day at this time. If you leave by this time, you'll make it to work on time, and it reminds me all the time, like, you should probably leave right now if you're going to work. Or this is the traffic
pattern or the time.
Yeah, this is your traffic. I always get the traffic alerts on my phone. Like this is what time. Do you get those on your phone too?
Yeah, I do all the time.
Yeah, it's like this is the traffic to home. This is the traffic to work, and you get it. So I mean, Google knows where you work. Google knows where you're at, your home, all this other stuff. But it got a little bit creepy for me. I guess not creepy, but like I was impressed, I guess you can say, at the technology. Mm-hmm. So I've been reading through the book of Joshua in the Old Testament, and I've been having a hard time reading it because it's very much a violent book. It's a military book, and Joshua's leading the Israelite army to basically conquer these. I guess there were small cities, and they had rulers, and what they would do is they would take out the entire city. And nobody survived. And the author of the book made sure to tell you that nobody survived. Everybody died. And I've been having a hard time with it because it's very violent, and also it's like God ordained. Like God is like saying, like, do this, I will be with you. Like, kill these people, I'm down. So I've been having a really hard time with Joshua, and it's been in my mind, and I've kind of just kept it there. But we had our community group on Tuesday. And I remember like bringing that up to the group, and we talked about it, and I expressed to them like I was having a hard time with it, and it doesn't mesh with like who Jesus is and like what the New Testament is, and all this other stuff. And the next day I got to work, and I was just like scrolling through Twitter like I do, and one of the ads I received was from it was like a book by a guy who's the whole book. The premise of the book is: are you having a hard time like understanding the violence of the Old Testament? Read this book. My mom's calling.
Parenting pause.
We're gonna go to Olive Garden. I'll call her right back. We're probably gonna wrap up here in a second.
Okay, yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of crazy. Yeah.
The OG.
Yeah.
Well, we ordered Domino's pizza the other night when we were watching that movie, and then after, like the next day, we had Domino's commercials out my ears, like constantly. Like it was nonstop.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of funny because I was like, okay, they know we had Domino's last night, and now they're like, hey, fat asses, why don't you have some more Domino's?
Right? No, Domino's is that
it's delicious
app?
though. It's
man,
delicious.
like I remember.
Timothy, thanks for putting our pizza in the oven in case you listen to
Dude,
this.
Domino's has stepped up their game. I'm just gonna say that.
Word.
Like their app is freaking amazing. It's like so and so is putting your order in the oven right now.
His name was Timothy.
Timothy. So and so is delivering your pizza right now. So and so is, whatever. So we got our pizza. It was quick. The app was awesome. I mean, I guess shout out to Domino's. They're not sponsoring. Nobody sponsors us.
No, but they're awesome. And shout out to Timothy. Like, keep on keeping on, man. Thanks for making our pizza.
But the pan pizza that they had was delicious. Like I don't know.
And you worked at Pizza Hut for like 9 years. Do you feel bad saying
like 20
that?
years.
Do you feel like a traitor?
I do feel like a traitor, but yeah.
It's all right. It's okay.
As we were eating that pizza.
Might as well have been drinking it. We ate it really fast.
Yeah. We were watching, what was it? It was called Mute?
Mute. Thank you, Gio, for suggesting that, by the way. John and Gio. Lorenzo had mentioned that, and
Brian and Gio.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bleh. I'm a terrible
Brian
human
and
being. It was wonderful. So.
Hello.
Sorry.
No, I'm looking for the tweet that was sent to me with those. Okay, what did I say? What movie should we watch? So, Brian suggested Mute or Bright. We watched Bright.
Yeah, we did watch that already.
Which I thought was good.
I think we talked about it on this podcast.
We actually did, yeah. It was hard for us to kind of mesh the what do they call them, genres?
Yeah.
Like it was like a cop drama meets Lord of the Rings sort of deal. But it was good.
Yeah.
But the next one he said comedy Jim and Andy.
Huh.
For kind of stuff, LA Confidential.
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which you've seen.
Love it.
Lincoln.
Haven't seen it yet.
Sing Street.
Exit to the Gift Shop I've heard is good. I have not seen that yet
Check
either.
it out. The Overnight.
I feel like we've seen The Overnight. I can't remember, but I think we...
On Amazon, I thought he suggested an Amazon. Anyway, I think we should watch one of those movies pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, I think we're going to wrap this one up. I think...
We're going to the OG!
What's the OG? Olive Garden?
Yeah. Anybody who's everybody or everybody who's anybody calls it the OG. Yeah. Everybody.
So I'm listening to a podcast right now. I'm in the middle of listening to Tongues from the Liturgists. I've been in a liturgist kick. Like they started a new season. They added 2 new hosts, which I love. I love the 2 new hosts.
You have said
actually,
that, like, every time.
I
for the
do
last
though.
month.
I love the 2 new hosts. Like I like
you
Science
love him
Mike
so much. Why don't you marry him?
Maybe I will someday.
Maybe you should.
I like Science Mike and Gunger, but But the 2 new hosts, which I feel really bad because I still don't know their names, but they have a lot of really cool things to say.
I'm sure they're not offended.
They don't even know me.
You don't even know him.
They don't know my name.
You don't brush his hair.
This last episode, they were talking about tongues, which is really interesting to me because I grew up in a Pentecostal church. And
Pentecostal or charismatic?
Both, I guess. It was Assemblies of God, whatever that is. But the episode so far is really interesting. I myself have never had any tongues experiences, like personally. Like I went to those things where they wanted you to speak in tongues, but I never did. But I saw the people supposedly speaking in tongues. But I just thought it was a really interesting episode because 2 of the hosts, or 3 of the hosts actually have reports of speaking in tongues themselves, and like listening to their description of it. And I wasn't expecting it from them because they're very
logically driven people.
Yeah, like left folks. Anyways, I just thought it was so far it's a really interesting episode.
So kids, moral of the story is don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, it's easy to do that.
We all do it.
I didn't realize that woke folks spoke in tongues. So
The woke folks spoke.
yeah. The woke folks spoke.
Word.
Yeah. What are you listening to?
Phil Collins on vinyl.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
There's also this podcast. I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but because I'm kind of a nerd. It's called Haunted Places, and they go to a historically haunted place and they do like a podcast. Like it's not like they don't do a podcast there, but they do like they give you a historical account of the place, what happened there, what it was used for. It's kind of like history / paranormal. It's kind of interesting. So it's called Haunted
Who's the
Places.
host?
I don't remember.
But it's interesting.
It's interesting.
Is it like Ghost Hunters?
No.
on a podcast?
He's just like a narrator. So he will narrate other people's stories and accounts of this place being haunted. So it's very not dramatic, but it's like, well, I guess it is kind of dramatic. He narrates it like a well written story. But it's about a place, and they have a bunch of different ones that he talks about, and some of them are really interesting, like really interesting places. If not for the haunted part, just for the history. So
Sounds like a podcast I want to get into.
you should. It's wonderful.
Nice.
If you're nerdy like me,
I wish I was.
I think you might be.
So, anyways, we're gonna
Well-
have some
Breadsticks,
OG breadsticks
the OG,
and
maybe some pasta,
salad.
tiramisu.
Yeah, maybe we should go somewhere else.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, anyway.
We'll probably go somewhere else. And
Cheers to you.
It never sticks in my family. Like we think of a spot and then we never go there. So, we'll update you on the next podcast, but probably not.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.